my name's Paula. I'm one of the members of the You Can Be a Doctor board. I'm also an IMT1 doctor working down in Newcastle, but I grew up in Lanarkshire and I went to university in Edinburgh. And today I'm going to talk to you briefly about writing your personal statement. We know that the personal statement is something that people tend to find pretty challenging and stressful. I remember when I was writing my personal statement, I had absolutely no idea what to write, but we hope that this video can try and simplify things for you. So why are you writing a personal statement? What's it all about? Well, the reason that you're writing it is so that the medical school can see that you've got the skills and attributes required in order to be a good prospective medical student and future doctor. Now, this good place to look for these skills and attributes is this fab link on the MSc website, which we'll just link here. It's basically called What Makes a Good Doctor, and it basically has a list of all of the skills and attributes that they would expect in a prospective medical student. It's the sort of straightforward things that you would expect, such as motivated, good academically, good problem-solving skills, good communication skills, that you're resilient, that you're able to manage your time well. There's a whole list of them. So I would advise going to that website and having a look through those skills and attributes first, so that you can start to have a think about what you've done, which would link to those skills and attributes. They're not going to expect you to have every single one of those skills and attributes. That would be a bit too much. And you definitely couldn't write about it in one personal statement. But when you're thinking about your experiences, so your work experience first of all, and then also your experiences in your extracurricular activities and voluntary work, pick out the ones that relate to you. Because not all doctors are going to have all of those skills and attributes. Everyone's different, and when you come to medical school there's a whole lot of different personalities there, which is right, because there's a lot of different medical specialties, all of which appeal to different types of people. So don't feel alarmed if you look at that list and say, oh my god, I don't have all those things there. That's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Pick the ones that relate to you. So in your personal statement, they'll expect you to include at least a few things. So one, they will expect you to include some work experience. Two, they'll expect you to include some brief comment about your academic achievements. And three, they'll expect you to include other extracurricular activities that you're involved in, whether that's sport, music, drama, whether it's volunteering, or whether it's having a part-time job at the weekend. All of those things that you balance within your life are relevant in your application to medicine, so it's important to include those. When you're talking about these things, the structure that we would advise would be what. So number one, what? Brief description of the experience. So for example, when I was a school student, I worked in the Tunnocks tea cake factory at the weekend in order to give myself a little bit of money and also to try and get myself used to having a job. So if we go through this mini little example, we'll talk to you about what structure we would use. So what? I worked in the Tunnocks tea cake factory. Why did I do it? I worked there to help to support myself financially. And then three, what did it teach me? So this is when you have to have a reflection and a bit of a think and go back to that MSc info sheet, have a look at those attributes and see what that experience taught you. You can probably think of them off the top of your head as well. So I worked in the Tunnocks tea cake factory while in my final year of high school in order to help support myself financially. This was a very useful experience as it helped me to learn about the importance of good team working, while also allowing me to balance my academic studies with my work. A bit more eloquently than that, but you basically have to kind of, even if you summarise and bullet point it all down first, so what did I do, why did I do it, what did it teach me, and then you can write it into a nice sentence. So that's the way that we would advise you to structure your personal statement for everything, whether it's work experience, voluntary work, having a part-time job, all of those things. Just need to say what you did, why you did it, and what did it teach you. We know that the work experience section at the moment is being quite challenging for everyone given COVID-19, and we hope that this is going to be acknowledged by the medical schools in this application cycle. However, not all is lost, and there is quite a lot of very good online work experience that you can obtain. So the two that I am aware of are the Royal College of General Practitioners Observe GP, definitely worth doing, very useful, and what you need to do is just review the online content and then again think about what you've seen and how has it made you feel. Look at those MSc info sheet attributes and traits and think about what skills did those GPs demonstrate during those consultations? Another one is the Brighton and Sussex Medical School's online work experience programme. Again, excellent. You can review all of those videos and again just have a think when you're doing it about what sort of skills and attributes those people are demonstrating. What moves you? What do you think is great about what they're doing? And then reflect on that in your personal statement. Even things like GP behind closed doors, 24 hours in A&E, watching those on TV can sometimes move you, can teach you things. Even as a doctor nowadays, watching the way that people interact on those things, particularly one of the GPs on behind closed doors, is amazing. Those sort of things, you can reflect on that if that's had an impact on you. So all of those things could be considered relevant for work experience in this COVID-19 climate where everything is up in the air. So please don't be disheartened if you haven't got all of the work experience that you would have hoped. We hope that that's going to be acknowledged by the universities in this really difficult time. Some final key points for your personal statement. We would advise that you get it checked over by one person, if not more people. Sometimes you've been looking at it for so long that you don't realise that you've spelled words incorrectly and your sentences are run together. So definitely worthwhile getting perhaps your head of year to have a look through it. If you've got an English teacher that you're on good terms with, get them to have a look through it. We're also happy to look through your personal statement at advice@youcanbeadoctor.co.uk. Feel free to send your personal statements across and we will have a glance over them. Of course, we're not formally trained at looking at personal statements, but even just having another person's eye, and we've obviously got the medical background that you maybe need, having applied to medical school before, we'll have a look through it and see whether or not there's anything that we would advise that you should change. Another good place to look is the student room. Has a really good online bank of personal statements if you're needing some inspiration. Again, we would advise that it's inspiration only and not copied, because they will put your personal statements through a copyright checker, and they will also know if you've made it up, because the personal statement is used as part of your interview. So you want to make sure that you're being honest in what you're saying, because then if you're asked in an interview about an experience that was really moving for you or something that you've done that had a big impact on you, you can talk about it and be honest and open and emotive about it, rather than if you've made it up. If you get asked about it on the spot, it's going to be very obvious. So we would advise be honest in your personal statements. As a final point, don't worry about it too much, the personal statement. Just try and get yourself across. You've obviously all done lots of great things if you're applying to medical school. Just try and get that across in your personal statement. Even the little things like having a job at the weekend, a lot of people don't do that. Important to include things like that because it shows that you've got a good work ethic and you're a motivated person. As a final word, just good luck to everyone for your applications. We're all rooting for you. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to contact us on this advice email. And you can contact me directly if you want to, at this email address here. So I'm Paula, I'm one of the You Can Be a Doctor board members. So good luck everyone for your interviews, personal statements, applications, and we will hopefully see some of you at medical school next year.